Well,
we are on.
good afternoon, good evening,
and look who's here.
And there we go. We just getting started, and our fearless leader is coming in.
Right, coming in. 1, 2, 3. There he is.
We just started, and it was like perfect timing. As I was like, "What am I going to talk about?"
Good.
You talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Well, we just got started, but I'm happy to turn it over to you.
Well, good. Roger, good to see you. And of course, Kate and Brian, always good to see you guys. Real quick check-in. How's the sound?
Good.
Okay.
Yep. Notice any difference?
Little fuzzy.
Fuzzy?
Are you actually
just a tiny bit.
Maybe you don't have the light, the lighting is more yellow, especially on what is over your left shoulder. But I think Brian, but I think Brian might not have
his glasses on.
that, and I'm going to check the sound to see. He doesn't have the speakers all the way up either, so there we go.
Okay. Yeah, I wonder if I turn, but you say it's fuzzy.
Slightly, kind of, a harmonic fuzzy. It sounds like it's clearer, like you've got a lot more wattage going on, and maybe a so-called better system.
Yeah, I got a new camera.
Okay.
And then I got a riser for the computer, so instead of shooting up like this, even though my camera sits on top of the computer, computer still sits low. I sit pretty high up in my desk.
Okay.
And so I got a riser to get the camera so that the camera is almost exactly eye level.
Right.
I got the lights higher up, so there maybe I can go a little bit more. I hate to be using you guys' time for this.
But it's actually good learning experience for us too, because you're basically walking us through what we should be doing anyway.
Well, I was checking out some stuff, and it's all about, the most professional, thing that we can do. It's like back when we used to do three-way calling. Always talk with people about, get off the speakerphone. When you're on a telephone, you got one form of communication, it's audio, and then worse than only having one form of communication, it's low fidelity. Okay, telephones are low fidelity. And so, first step was, I've had a good camera this is actually the original camera. It's about $100 camera. And it does seem it's a little bright, but then, that's what you want, is you want your face to be illuminated. I'll play around with the lights and that sort of thing. We're already 4 minutes in. Oh, Hans, good to see you. Well, can't see you, Hans. Turn on your camera. So here's what we need to talk to about today, and I'll take about 5 or 10 minutes and talk about it. Then let's just open it up for whoever's got questions or answers. Whoever's got the answers, right? I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, man, this is like definitely a notch above the clarity, the visual clarity of the old camera, and it still looks fuzzy to you, Brian.
A little tiny bit, but it's okay. You're clear.
I don't think it's fuzzy, but then maybe my glasses are smeared. But I think the lighting is just off a little bit because it's so yellow. It's washing you out. Maybe in the summer when you have more of your beach tan, it'll look better. But right now it's kind of like you're matching the walls.
Yeah, it does look a little bit bright. I'm saying it again, Roger.
Oh, toward me. No.
Oh.
I think you might have been laughing, or somebody might have been chuckling because I said you matched the walls.
Yeah, I'll play around with that a little bit. Anyway, today is day one of the next Isogenics calendar for March. So February 22nd, that's today. Notice how I double checked that looking at my computer. Through March 28th. We have a 5-week month, this calendar or commission month. And so here's the first question. Okay, raise your hand. Hans, you're gonna have to raise your hand. Raise your hand if you achieve the goals you set for the last commission period?
No, I didn't.
And notice I didn't raise my hand either. Okay, so out of 4 or 5 of us, we're 0 for 4 or 5. Not good. Okay, not good. So here's a couple. This is kind of what I wanted to talk about. Me too. I didn't accomplish my goals. Now I did get some things done. You know, I did get a total of 4 customers upgrading. Hey, Amy, how are you?
Good. I'm sorry. I won't be able to stay long, but I just couldn't resist coming for a little bit. I hope you don't mind.
Okay, well, no, absolutely. The conversation is, you know, who achieved their goals for the previous commission calendar? Nobody raised their hands, including me. And today is day 1 of the next commission calendar. It's a 5-week calendar. So here's the things I wanted to kind of, you know, put out there. Okay. I also did not achieve my goals. Now, did I get nothing done? No, I got some stuff done. I got 4 different existing customers to upgrade their monthly consumption with the collagen. Okay, so it was just something to talk about. Reaching out, talking to people, getting a little bit more comfortable with Penny. I got to tell you guys, I really like that Penny app. Okay, it's for a number of reasons. What I'm finding is I like it's got a lot of that psychological addictive stuff like Facebook, you know, where it pings and it beeps you and it you know, gives you, you know, a virtual high five and what have you for accomplishing what you're doing. It's almost like a little game. Okay, we talked about that, or Christine did a presentation on that on the Monday group, the leaders focus call. She came and joined us, you know, just for our own team here. She said some great stuff. If you haven't listened to it again, I encourage you to listen to it again. Okay, you didn't catch everything the first time around, I guarantee it. Now, here's some thoughts that I've got. Okay, every day is a new day. Every day is a chance to start your day out right and accomplish your goals. Okay, whatever happened yesterday, last week, or last month, that's in the past. We try to learn from what it was, and that's, you know, number 1, identify why we didn't achieve the goals. Now, if you had a daily method of operation, if you had set up goals in terms of numbers, okay, the numbers is what leads you to the achievement. Are you going to talk to 1 person a day, 1 follow-up a day, one prospect for distributorship, 1 prospect for, you know, associate, 1 prospect for a new customer, 1 follow-up. If that's what you're doing, did you do that? Okay, if that was the numbers you'd set aside for your daily goals, but your, you know, weekly goal was to enroll 37 customers, ain't gonna happen. Okay, you can't reach out to, you know, 2 people a day, 1 about the products, 1 about the opportunity, end of the day, be able to expect at the end of 7 days, you got 37 customers. You got to be realistic, you know, do the numbers match what the goals are? But you got to, you know, you set the goals, but then you have to set the numbers. Did you do the numbers? Did you do them on a daily basis? Or did you get it done, you know, on Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of the week, you didn't achieve your numbers? I mean, these are all simple little things, but it's that clarity that helps you understand what happened. Okay. Now, if you did not hear David Moses this morning, highly encourage you to go back on the leaders focus call and listen to David Moses. Okay. He did a great job of talking about these kinds of things, setting up what you want to do on a daily basis. The most recent, and I don't know, it's probably been a week or more, Reed Nelson talked about half a dozen things. I mean, I've already listened to that twice. I'm probably going to, well, I listened to it first live, then I heard it a repeat, and it's on my notes to repeat it again because I got to write the notes down. I got to see it visually before it really becomes incorporated into my brain. These are all things that are important to do because the results you're going to get will be 100% determined by your activities. Pure and simple. If you are not achieving the results, the goals that you set, then you need to work yourself backwards. What are the activities? Are the activities sufficient enough to achieve those goals? If they are, how consistently are you accomplishing all of those activities? None of this is brain surgery. None of this is rocket science. This is simple stuff. That's the problem. It's simple stuff. It's 100% within our capacity to create the future that we're looking for. And the exciting news is today is day one. Okay, so if you didn't sit down this morning, as I didn't, okay, I also did not. Hey, Robin, if you didn't sit down this morning and take the time to, and I mean, we're not talking a lot of time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, take the time to commit to writing the goals for the month. How many new customers do you want to achieve? For those of you that are, beyond a part-time of, 30 minutes a day, maybe you can put in an hour a day to your business, 90 minutes a day to your business. Here's a good goal for you: customer acquisition. Get the what's the term? The builder bonus, the advanced builder bonus. I forget what there's a term for it. There's the beginner, the baby builder bonus, and the big dog baby builder bonus. The 2 customers and the 5 customers. Go for the 5 customers. I mean, that's like a couple $100 worth of free product you get, and it's product you probably want to be using, but you haven't even bothered to do yet. Okay. Then talk about customer associate acquisition. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4? Take the time to set up some goals. Okay. All excuses are equal. Okay. My big excuse why that didn't happen today, or last night, the night before the beginning of the next commission calendar, ain't got Modesta here. Okay. She took a few days off. She deserves it. She needed to take some break. I've been running around like crazy since 6:30 this morning, accomplishing absolutely nothing to do with my business. And we'll be loving when Modesta gets back. Actually, my sister's here right now. It was shower day for Mom, and she got stuck. She had to stay. If I'm not here and Modesta's not here, she can't leave Mom, right? And I just blew in, so I got, I told her I'll be done at 6. So anyway, some thoughts for you. Take the time, if you haven't already done it. Write down the goals for the month. Listen to David Moses from this morning. Okay, that will be helpful to you. Set realistic goals, work backwards, establish some numbers that you believe will be sufficient to accomplish those goals. And then just monitor your activities on a daily basis. Don't get yourself stuck expecting to develop, 1 or 2 or 3 customers, this week. And not do the numbers that are necessary in terms of reach outs, contacts, what have you. And you don't get started till Friday or Saturday. End of the commission week, Sunday. Okay. You're gonna have to be an awful lucky person to be able to contact enough people on Saturday night to get the 3 or 4 customers you want for this week, by Sunday. So set that up. That's the types of things that I'm focused on. I'm not going to go another commission calendar failing to accomplish my goals. Okay, I'm not going to do that. This is our we're starting our 3rd commission calendar in the Isogenics year. You can't accomplish your annual goals if you wait until the 5th, 6th, 8th, 10th month of the year to start working for them. Okay, so just some thoughts. We got a little bit of time here. Open it up, unmute yourself. What's happening? Tell us about good stuff. Tell us about, challenging stuff, and anything you think one of the team members might be able to help. And we got Amy here. We got Kate and Brian. They've got a lot of tenure in the business. Hans has been around for an awful long time. Hans, this isn't a me talk to y'all. It's all of us as a group. The only reason I get the first part of the meeting is because I have a serpent. I just take it. So what's happening, guys? What can we talk about that will be helpful to the group?
Well, it's a couple thoughts I could share. It
Sure.
reminds me of that saying, it's so easy to do, it's easy not to do. And that,
Easier.
easy to miss, right?
Yep.
Yep. And one of the things that I really like is I think sometimes I've noticed that the number thing getting people has people kind of get turned off because it feels cold. But if you then just kind of turn it around and look at it as a measurable result, having numbers gives you a measurable result, right? Jim Rohn talks about it in a myriad of ways, where you are, if it's one a week, it doesn't matter. Whatever the number you pick, that's what gives you the column that's either 0 or it's a match or it's exceeded, right? Which gives you a measurable result. And so, finding the way that inspires us helps. So one thing, I'm very visual. So one of the things I did for myself was I made a little graph. It kind of like the stock market, right? Oh, I got a candlestick today. I went up 2 people, right? And it's a bear market because I didn't do my list. And whatever works for you. Fred always teaches, don't teach technique, teach concept. So that's just what works for me. But it's kind of fun. I think making this fun instead of like oh God, I have to, forgetting that we actually did choose this. So that's the last thing I wanted to share was, remembering that, choosing what you chose on a daily basis. It's kind of sounds funny, but it is kind of odd that we do, grumble, or at least I have, oh, I got to do this call now, or I got to do this follow up. It's like, wait a minute, I chose to have the independence of working for myself from home and getting paid continuously for work I did once, or maybe twice, right? Maybe I had to do a few follow-ups with that person. Oh, I have to send them an email. Whoa, right? So, remembering to choose what we're choosing, what we've already chosen, and actually show up for it is something that, however that you can make it fun for yourself, helps with that. But I think the daily reminder for me really comes into play, right? So I was feeling kind of grumpy this morning. Perfect case and example. And I'm like, what am I grumpy about? I'm doing exactly what I've chosen to do. What's the deal? So either be, committed to what you're committed to, or get off the boat and do something else. But don't be in between, right? Just change your numbers. Okay, so I want to do a more conservative stock market climb. Okay, I'll do a more conservative one. And that's fun again. So if it feels like you've got you probably do have the wrong numbers. If you're still feeling like it's a weight on you instead of an opportunity. And so I just turned it around in my mindset today, and it made all the difference. And oddly enough, someone called me back. So we do attract what we put out. So I just thought I'd go ahead and share that. It does make a difference. And my number is low right now. Right? I'm on the conservative stock market because I got so much on my plate, but it's still happening within my graph. My numbers are small because that's what I committed to, but I'm fulfilling at least that. And when I do, it feels pretty good. It's like, okay, my candlestick is only this big, one little bump, but I hit that bump for the week for me. It's like, okay, great. And all I had to do was change my attitude and remember that I'm choosing what I set up in the first place. So I just thought I'd share that. Thanks, Fred.
Principles like the law of attraction and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I do apologize that I can't stay. But I just really wanted to, I love this. I think coming together to share our thoughts is such an incredible gift that you give us, Fred. Reminding us who we are, what we chose, why we're here is more important than all the number games in the world when you come right down to it, because that keeps us connected to our why. And
I appreciate your contribution. I mean, I love what you said, and I'm going to repeat it once you leave. But thank you, Amy, for being here. I really do.
Thanks so much, you guys. I'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye.
Remembering that we chose this, okay? Because honestly, if it's starting to feel like it's a chore to be working at the numbers, the activities that you've set up as what it is you want to strive for, we got to keep this in mind. I mean, what's the alternative? For me, hilarious. There is no alternative. I had an opportunity to speak on the phone with an old friend of mine the wife of a fellow that was part of my team back in the late 80s and early 90s. All right. And talking with them, and you know, he did very, very well, as I did in that company I was in, my second company. He's had some tough times since then. Okay. One of the guys that didn't get it, you know, don't spend all the money. They spent all the money. And when when it was time for that opportunity to go away, they didn't have the luxury that I had to spend, you know, almost a decade doing whatever I wanted and having the resources. You know, they spent all the money. And it's been really tough times for them. I mean, really tough times. And in talking with them, I started to realize, you know, there's a reason why I chose what I'm doing here. You know, what he's doing now, he's selling roofs, roofing job, you know, he works for a roofing contractor, and he has to fly to wherever there's a natural disaster. He spends, you know, 6-8 weeks on the road at a time. You know, when there's hurricanes in Florida, he goes to Florida and he lives in a hotel and he sells roofing jobs. You know, and wherever there's a natural disaster, that's where he's going to sell roofs. That's what he has to do for a living. Okay. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, where would I be with mom the way she is right now if I had to be out somewhere? Oh, my mother would be dead. Okay. She would not have lasted living in a you know, an environment. I mean, wherever she would be, they would medicate her and tie her down. And she'd wonder, you know, where were the children that she raised? And I'm not saying it's easy, because it's not, but she's here. She's at home. She's the place that she was remembered for the last, you know, what, 50 years, 60 years? Bought this place in 1963. So you do the math. I'm too tired.
58
So
years.
anyway, I'm sorry?
58.
58 years, almost 60 years, right? Yeah, I was a little kid when we bought this place. And so if you think about it, you know, understanding why it is we did this turns it into, you know, an exciting blessing, not a chore. And we self-impose on ourselves, you know, the goals that we want to achieve. And you know, honestly, one of the biggest challenges for me personally, you know, full disclosure, is I'm doing pretty good. You know, I'm doing pretty good. I'm not worried about, you know, well, I was gonna say, I'm not worried about making the rent payment, you know, or the mortgage payment this month. The house paid off, right? You know, if I was hungrier, I might find it a little bit easier to figure out how to accomplish all the things that need to be accomplished. Or some things that get accomplished during the day would no longer be important enough to keep me from making the calls that I need to make. Okay. Everything I do is priority one, and I don't worry about priority two, but things change if you're worried about covering the mortgage payment, you know, covering the kids' tuition, covering, you know, the taxes, whatever. Okay. So anyway, what Amy's, you know, the things that Amy said really make a lot of sense to me. And probably one of the good things to do is every morning, remember why you're here. You know, what's the goal? Be thankful for what you got. Anyway, any other comments or what have you? I will drop off right at 6.
It's been a great call. I appreciate how you and Amy just kind of pinged off each other without even planning it, and the idea of the opportunity, and that and changing, if it starts to feel too heavy, change the way you look at it. If you have to change the numbers, and then if you can release that heaviness, then it opens up the opportunity for people to start calling you. Meanwhile, you're calling other people.
Don't worry. Be happy.
You know,
Right.
you start with that, and I'm thinking about my little, he's 40. Actually, I realized he's going to be 42 this year. I thought he was going to be 40 this year. my older boy. And that's what he used to do. Be happy. Don't worry. Little cherub face Jeremy doing that kind of stuff. Very good, Brian. Very good. And you know, one of the things, and we all have heard this before. One of the things that's I think is important is to be grateful for what we got. Okay. I recently had a little bit of a challenge. I'm no longer going to be able to travel. Okay. My sister will no longer be covering for me. My life, you know, basically had dwindled down to Saturday night, 4 hours. I got to be out for 4 hours on Saturday night. And then twice a year, she'd cover me for 2 weeks and I go off to the islands. Well, I was not going to do that anymore. You know, life's tough for some people, I guess. So, you know, I recently had a challenge in terms of thinking, okay, so how am I going to do this? Because honestly, I live and die behind those 2 weeks. You know, 2 weeks out of 6 months, I actually get to be free. And I'm thinking, how am I going to do this? You know, how am I going to make it? And I turned what was a, you know, an existential crisis in my life to think that, you know, until mom passes, I will never go anywhere again, to forcing myself to wake up in the morning and be thankful that I can, you know, be up at 5 in the morning, 5:30, whatever time it is, and get a lot of things done so I can be here when mom wakes up. So we can have our same little routine as she comes through the door. Good morning, Mom. Happy Monday. It's Monday already? Here, let me help you. And we go and we do our standard little, you know, morning routine, and she's happy and she gets her coffee and sees her little birds through the window. And we do our standard routine throughout the day, and she goes to bed happy. Okay. And so rather than, you know, how am I going to live life? I think how grateful I am that I can do this, and I can do this for as long as necessary to do. So anyway, quick recap, and I'm going to shut it down. You guys can continue on if you want. Day one, we get a chance to start all over again. We are not the sum of the past, but we are the beginning of what we create in the next 5 weeks. This one's a 5-week commission month. And every single one of us has the capacity to achieve whatever goals we set. The time to do it, time to plan it was this morning. Second best time to plan it, tonight before you go to bed. Okay. Best time to start working on the goals that you set for this commission calendar, this morning. Second best time to start, tomorrow morning. Okay. So as always, folks, appreciate your time. Love being with you guys. You know, I need to have a group of people around me like y'all. I did that one for Robin.
Thank you,
Bob,
Brad.
I got to throw in a y'all every once in a while. All right, you guys have a great rest of your week. Call me if you need me. I'll be here, and we'll definitely see you on Monday.
Good night, Fred.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank
Good
you.
night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.